Hello friends, in the series of C Programming, till now we discussed different kind of control structure. Now in last video we discussed nested for loop, that is control structure, and we'll also discuss some printing pattern. Now here today in this video we'll also going to discuss one more star printing pattern by using nested for loop, and we'll also going to execute this program, and we'll also going to discuss what is the working of printing such a kind of pattern. Now we know that what is nested loop. Nested loop, that is loop inside this loop. Now we already discussed in last video how we are going to print the star pattern. Now if I want to print such a kind of star pattern, I want to write it into the for loop. Now this is the inner for loop which is actually going to print the star. Now here in this code, this star is going to print till the I is less than equal to 10. Now suppose if let's consider one more example, or let's consider this pattern. Now suppose if I want to print such a kind of pattern, now here I require two for loop. One for loop is the outer for loop is to printing line, that is new different line. So I required outer loop to printing the new different line. Now here total there are 7 lines. Now suppose if I consider for the 7 line as a j, that is a variable j, and I required one more variable I to print such a kind of pattern, that is this at the first line you can observe at the first line it having the star 1, at the second line it having 2 star, at third line it having the 3 star. So I can print it by the this kind of for loop, and inside this for loop I write the printf the star. So all the star is going to the print by this for loop condition. Now let's understand how it going to print. Now I am going to consider two variables here, I and j. Now outer loop is also printing with the similar inner loop of the for loop. That is, when the outer loop is also printed, the inner same for loop is also printed. So that is nothing but the nested loop, and let's understand how it's working for printing the star pattern. Now suppose let's consider I and j, these two variable. Now first j, that is nothing but this first line. Now j is considering for the first line. Now let's understand at the first line j is equal to 1, and I is for the printing all star. Now this I is also 1. Now at the second line j becomes 2. So at the second line j, if the j is the 2, then I is also going to printing 2 star. And if the j is the 3, then I is going to the printing the 3 star. That is, if j is 1, it will print only one single star. If j is equal to 2, that is second line, it will printing inner or I is running the 2 times. And if j is 3, the I is running the 3 times. So our code is becomes like I is equal to 1. When this, as I am going to consider I is equal to 1 and j is equal less than or equal to j, because at if the j is equal to 1, it will print 1 star, j is equal to 2, it will print 2 star, and j is equal to 3, so it will going to print the 3 star. So the condition is I less than or equal to j. When it is the third line, it will print the at least 3 or less than or equal to 3 star. If j becomes the 4, then I will going to the print all star till j is equal to or I less than equal to j. That's why I'll put this condition, and again I plus plus, so it will going to increment the star. So this is the printing pattern. Now this all star is get printed by this loop, but I want this star into the new line. So for the j is also going to the increment. Now total 7 line I want to print. So my outer loop becomes j is equal to 1, j less than or equal to 7, j plus plus, and this is our for loop, that is our inner loop, which going to the print our star. Now let understand this working of program. Now the compiler control will goes here, j is equal to 1. Now j, it check the second part condition that j less than or equal to 7. Now 1 less than or equal to 7, yes, condition true. So it comes to the this inside this loop. Again it goes to the for loop. Now I is equal to 1. Now here 1 is less than or equal to j. Now the value of j is 1. So yes, this condition is the true. Now again it goes to this part, that is printf star. So first star is get printed. Now after that I get incremented. Now the value of I becomes the 2 here. Now again this condition is checked whether the 2 less than or equal to j, because j is 1. Now this condition is the false. Now it will come here in next line of this loop. So it will print /n, that is it will come, the cursor will come to the new line. And after printing this new line, the compiler control goes to the previous outer loop of j plus plus. Now here the j becomes the 2. Now again after 2, it will check this condition whether the 2 is less than or equal to 7. Now yes, it will come again here inside this loop. Now again it consider initialize I1. Now I less than or equal to j. Now j becomes 2 here. Now 1 is less than or equal to j, yes, it's true. Then it will print star. Again I plus plus, so I becomes 2 here. Now the j value is 2. Now 2 is less than or equal to 2, yes, condition is the true. Again it print the second star. Now I get incremented to 3. Now as this becomes incremented 3, but this condition is the false, because 3 less than or equal to, it's false, and it will print /n at the third line. So cursor will move to the next new line, and again after this printing new line, the compiler control goes to the j plus plus. So j get incremented to 3. Now this loop should be repeated till j less than equal to 7. Once j plus plus get it, so j becomes a 8, and this condition is the false, and for loops get ended. J variable is printing for new line. Now n is the number which accepted how many rows I want. Now here I simply print the message, enter any number of rows or any number of lines. Now I can scan %d and n. Now here inside this is the for our outer loop for j is equal to 1 less than or equal to n. Now this outer loop will going to print the value which I accepted into the scanf till n number. Now inside this inner loop, this loop is repeated till I less than or equal to j condition, and this loop is going to print the star. Now /n is used for printing it into the new line. Now let run this program. Now here entering the rows 4. Now so I'll get the 4 as a, this is the output. Now if I run this program and accepted the 7 rows, it will print, gives the 7 line patterns. Now suppose if I change here, if it is an n which I accepted, now let's run this program. So I'll get this pattern. So this